Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Brad Talks. So in today's episode, we're going to go ahead and look at a few things here. Um, so we had found that a few articles here, in which I've seen through YouTube and a few other things and a few other sources, and I could not believe what came up on my home feed and until I actually, watched the video and all that. So we're going to cover just the articles and what I had found here. Um, and this is shocking. This is really shocking. So here it is. Here is the article. I'm gonna zoom me down here. Okay, way down. Maybe right about there. All right, so we can go ahead and read. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and cover up these ads because we don't really need these ads, right? Maybe make me a little bit bigger. Cover up some of these ads. All right, there we go. So I'm on that side of the screen right now. All right, cool. So here's this article about a trans competitor beats 13-year-old girl in New York City women's skateboarding contest. What is shocking is the words and verbiage in which they're using because it seems like nobody can even identify what a woman is nowadays, which to me is absolutely absurd, right? So, let's go ahead and look at this. So it says 29-year-old trans woman beat a 13-year-old girl to take home the top prize in a skateboarding contest in New York. Okay, New York City. And of all places, this happened in New York. I wouldn't believe it if just hearing about it, right? I don't think anybody would, because New York, I mean, usually it's a tough city. You don't really hear about things like this, but it's crazy. Um, let's see here. About a debate over whether new inclusivity pushes create an unfair advantage in women's sports. It absolutely does, and you should have your own category. In my own opinion, that's what it should be. I'm gonna probably butcher his name, but Ricky Trez from Los Angeles, who was born a man but now identifies as a woman. How do you identify as a woman if you don't know what a woman is? Is the question. The women's division of the Border Open Street Skateboarding competition, right? So, street skateboarding competition is already challenging. It's a very good segment, if anything. Um, in one of my best and or favorite street skaters I've ever seen is Rodney Mullen. This is probably before anybody's time. That's why I'm watching this now. And a $500 prize. Right, you heard me right. This person got a $500 prize. You know, if you can just imagine, you're a decent skateboarder, you didn't do all that well, and you just come out and say, I'm a woman, right? And you dress like a woman that day, and you identify as a woman that day. Are you then able to just go ahead and compete in this competition and win? I mean, is that how it goes? Because if that's the case, what's stopping all men from saying, "Hey, you know what? He's right. I didn't make it as a professional skateboarder, so why not just go beat these young women in their sport?" Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Come on. So let's go ahead and read a little bit more. So $500 prize for the first place winner, and it looks like with 13-year-old here. Again, I'm bad at names. Last name's Katori from Florida, coming in second and taking a $250 prize. Can you imagine coming from Florida, which is really far south of New York, okay, and going to this competition, had no idea going in, right? She was probably training to be with people around her age, maybe a little older, maybe within 18 or 17, whatever it may be, right? With the mindset of training as hard as they probably did, right? And it all just goes crashing down because you're unaware that there's going to be a man in the competition, a biological man in a competition like this. I mean, that little girl's dreams probably were shattered right there. I mean, come on. That's just mean, and it should never happen. If anything, she should be awarded. Well, awarded that. If I had the additional 250, I would give it to her. Right? Because that is the problem. Right? Like, that should not be happening. Let's see here. 4 of the 6 finalists were under the age of 17. Again. And this person's going in 29 years old. That is insane. With the youngest being 10 years old. Okay? Who came in 5th. At 29, Trez was the oldest contestant. Of course they were. Of course. See, a man probably thinking, I can go in this skateboard competition and I can win it because I'm a man. I can dominate this. It is really, excuse me, it really is something. Trez is 838 in the board, or whatever it is, global rankings, compared to Katori's 133 ranking. Which I think, oh, okay. So the one that came in second. Okay. Trez attempted to participate in Women's Street USA Skateboarding National Championships to aid in her bid to qualify for the Olympics, but was rejected because she had too much testosterone, according to the Daily Mail. So, not only do you have too much testosterone, is what they're saying, and that's why you got rejected from the Olympics, that's why they won't let you compete and everything, but in any way, they'll let you compete in the skateboard competition. This skateboard competition should be held liable for this, I feel. Because you're just allowing men to come into your competition who say they are a woman in fear that they may come after you. Right? So, it's something. You guys need to start standing your ground and saying, no, you do not meet the criteria to be in this competition. You are not a woman. You're not biologically a woman. So unfortunately, no, we're not gonna. Not even unfortunately, no. Fortunately, we're not gonna let you play because you're not allowed. Right? We have a standard in which we're upholding. Okay, so that way it is a fair competition. Whatever to happen to a fair competition, a fair fight, right? Like, I'm not saying to call to arms or anything, right? No, because we don't want violence, right? We don't want violence at all. I don't condone violence, but in any case where you got these men going into these sports, okay, and just dominating the sport is not going to make it any better. It's going to make it into a circus. Okay? What I mean by circus is you got these men who couldn't make it playing against other men who are going against women knowing that they can dominate it or dominate the sport. And at some point, someone's going to have to stand up and say, enough is enough, and we're not doing this no more. And the reason for that is if we don't, women are going to eventually become discouraged and just stay away from the sport altogether, making the sport nothing but trans men anyway, or trans women anyway, into that sport. That's what's going to happen. Okay, whether we like it or not, that's what's going to happen if we don't do something about it now. Especially a street skateboarding competition is going to turn out to be the same thing at some point. It may be a small little global thing, or whatever it may be, but it also looks like it goes into the Olympics. And women's sports are no longer going to be women's sports. If anything, You know what women should be doing and fighting for right now? I'm talking about real women, okay? The women who are born a woman, okay? They should be trying to fight this. If they cannot fight this, they need to division themselves and or part themselves from that division. They should all take a stand. The moment they see a trans woman, okay, a biological man trying to come into their sport, they should all just say, hey, we're not going to compete. We're not doing it today. We're striking. We're not doing this. We're not going to compete with that person. We're done. All right. What they need to do is start an organization for themselves to pay for their strike days and everything like that, however long it may take. Someone needs to fund these people for striking. That's how strongly I feel about it. We should unify against this happening because it's not right. But in any case, let's continue on. So this is the one who unfortunately got second because, again, they trained probably hard, I'm sure. And I know what it's like being a kid, and then you train and you work hard, and then you just get smacked down. I understand that fully. Okay. Um, but that is just something else. That is a loss that should not have been a loss. Um, so let's see. The outlet said Trez took hormones to suppress her testosterone. Really, testosterone, but still came in over the limit. Okay. Trez served 4 years in the Navy and had 3 kids with her now ex-wife before becoming a woman, according to the Mail. Okay, another source there. So at what point did Trez really decide to become a woman? You know what I think has happened here, and I'm not there, this is just, he say or their say or whatever you want to say. But what I think happened here is Trez came out of the military, hey man, thank you for your service and all. But when you had this relationship with your wife, and you have 3 children, three children, 3, okay? You are a man. Okay, you already had kids, you already been down that road. Okay? And maybe he wasn't able to make it as a man. Maybe that's why they're gonna start identifying as a woman. Right? They couldn't make it as a man, so now they're gonna be a woman. And not only that, here's the punch here. It's the thing that comes after that paragraph. Okay? It says the pair still live together in Los Angeles and co-parent their children. I don't believe that. That's the kicker there too. I don't believe that, according to the report. Right? So you mean to tell me, one, you divorced, or you're saying that I don't even see anything in her about saying you got divorced. I see just now ex-wife. You're not divorced. You don't. None of that, right? And you got 3 kids of this woman. Okay. And maybe my theory is thrown out the window. Because I was thinking maybe he couldn't make it as a man, so maybe he's becoming a woman. No. He pretended to be a woman for this sole purpose, just to go ahead and I'm not sure if they're proving a point, saying, hey, why not all men try to do this, like I was saying before, because they're allowing it. And there's nothing from stopping other men saying, hey, I'm a woman, just to go out and be in a sport now, right? That's the problem here. But here's the other thing too. It says, I am a 28, well, even it's a 29 up top. I am 28. I have 3 kids. I am married. But, he said he has an ex-wife, but he says I'm married. I did my time in the military. I own own a company. All right. He or she said in an interview, according to the Mail, I've decided that I like being pretty and cute. Oh, you like being pretty and cute. You know, whenever a man, likes to feel pretty and cute, you know what I do? I put on a suit. I honestly don't understand why men just don't be men. It seems like they rather go the other route and beat on girls and beat women in their own sport. You know, it's not their own sport either. You know, they're separated. There's divisions. There's certain areas in which men and women are separated for a reason. Otherwise, women would just compete with men, and that's the way it would be, right? In skateboard competitions, tennis, basketball, baseball, anything you can think of, ice hockey. I'm sure there's a probably a women's division. You never know, right? But they're not making the kind of money men's sports make, okay? Because men compete on another level than women. Have you not noticed this? Has anybody not noticed this? That's why men get paid more in those sports because they bring in the money, right? Let me give you another example. Ronda, what's her name? Ronda Rousey or something like that in the UFC. She makes more than all of her co-workers or whatever you may want to call them, other fighters of hers that may be in the same realm, because her name is known more and she brings in more money for that division. So therefore, she's worth more to the company, right? Everybody knows at a young age you got to go out there and make a name for yourself to make anything. And this person's just doing it a different way. The way they're doing it, it may be wrong. You see it as wrong, right? But in a logical standpoint, we all know that this person is going to keep getting clout. What I mean by clout, they're going to keep getting acknowledged and known and everything like that for being this person going into the sport, doing this to this, young lady here, right? Taking away her championship or taking away her first place prize, right? Like, you didn't deserve to go in there and do that. That's literally the example I would give. That's like taking a 28, 29-year-old man and putting him in a skateboard competition against young ladies who are trying to compete for first prize. That's like similar to a bowling competition. You sit there and you put a professional man who's bottom of the line and cannot get anywhere close to first place and goes into a women's division and crushes it. Is that really fair? Right? Or we'll do basketball. We'll take basketball. We'll take one of the biggest names there are, say they're a woman, and put them in the women's division. See how long that lasts. I recently seen a video where a woman, where a woman, go ahead, go down here. We're going to go and probably read a little bit more. But say a woman goes into wanting to play for a man's team. That's not going to happen, right? It's not. But let's say a man goes into any women's sport, like tennis, soccer, anything, right? Crushes it. But I recently did see a video where a women's basketball team, both teams, by the way, went the wrong way on the court. Like, they went for a rebound, and their team went up, and the team scored on itself, and the opposite team grabbed the ball from underneath and threw it down the opposite direction from where they needed to be. No sense at all. Okay? None. And you want to put a man in that? Sure. So that man would go in there and crush it. He could be the bottom of the line too. Like, he could be the most unskilled basketball player as a man and crush a women's division. Okay? That is a very possible outcome. And you know what? I guarantee people who are making bets right now, right, on the side to their through their apps or whatever they're using, like FanDuel or whatever, are loving it. Oh yeah, you know what? There's a skater competition. We're able to put money on it. Yeah, I got like $1,000 on this man who just went in there. I know he's gonna get first place, right? Like that makes sense. Yeah, we'll just start doing that. Oh, there's a tennis player coming. Oh, it's a trans woman that's gonna be going in today. Oh yeah, yeah. You know, put $1,000 on it. They're gonna win for sure. They'll win every time on their bets. There's no more fairness in sports at this point. None. And that's what's gonna happen. And these sports apps are gonna be. They're not gonna know what to do. They're not gonna know what to do. All right, let's see here. So if you probably paused or if you probably listen to me and you read on, that's fine. But we're going to go ahead and do it for the people who want to hear what's going on otherwise. So it says skateboarder Taylor Silverman led the chorus of discontent writing an Instagram post. Male wins women's finals and money at. Okay, so she's just writing about what happened. Okay. New York City presented by DC today. Excuse me. My story is not unique in skateboarding. Silverman, who has been skateboarding for 11 years, previously complained on social media that she had lost to transgender rivals twice, including at the Red Bull Cornerstone competition in May when she missed out on $5,000 in prize money by coming in second. See, this is the problem. DC, you as a company should be standing up to this. You're big enough to do so. You're big enough to make haters. DC used to be so controversial back in the day. Didn't care what anybody thought and stood by their brand. Apparently, they're not doing it nowadays. They're just sucking up. All right, DC, get down there and suck it up, huh? That's what we're gonna do, right? As a company, that's what you do. Unbelievable, DC. Unbelievable. And Red Bull. Oh my God, Red Bull. Red Bull. Same thing, man. Same thing. You used to stand behind your company. You didn't care what anybody thought. Yeah, people going out and doing ridiculous stunts. Just being extreme is Red Bull. Okay? That's the Red Bull way. And you can't even stand behind it. You can't say no. Huh, Red Bull? You can't say no. This person here deserved that $5,000 grand prize. Heck, you should revoke that person's prize winnings and give it to this person. What are you doing? Absolutely insane. I'll tell you what, whoever is in charge over there needs to step down because clearly they do not have, to stand behind the company. They do not have the bull, if you know what I mean. They're not holding it by the, at all. They don't have that company by the horns, I'll tell you right now. They don't have that fire. Clearly. But in any case, let's see here. I dissolved to place first by being acknowledged for my win and get paid, she wrote. I reached out to Red Bull and was ignored. I am sick of being bullied into silence. And what did I say before? This is going to happen. These amazing, probably very amazing female athletes here go out of their way, they perform well, and you got men going into their space. Okay? And it's something that should not happen. Okay? Not happen. Silverman's post from May 17th drew a mixed response, with some users fully supporting her stance while others accused her of being a sore loser. With one commenter writing LOL, or you could just be better at skating and actually win the already fair contest. Let me explain something to you. I already said it once. It's not fair. It's already not fair. Okay? And you can sit there and say, oh, I don't believe that. There's so much evidence. And the only way we're going to be able to prove this evidence, we need people behind us who believe it 100%. Okay? 100%. Okay? I'm talking about maybe bringing in some big names that are already well known. Okay? And putting them against women just to prove a point for one day. And you will see how unfair it is. That's like putting a UFC fighter like McGregor against Rousey. Does that make sense to you? No. Why would you do that? Nobody needs to do that. It's not fair. Because he would go in and demolish. Right? So, you're trying to sit there and justify, hey, it's a fair contest, it's a man competing in a women's sport. They may not be all that good. Well, you can make that argument all day, but there's still a man. Okay? A man may handle pain differently than a woman. He may have trained differently than a woman, right? These are all things that are different. Okay? Do you know what testosterone is? I mean, it's one of those things to where it keeps you going. No matter if your body's looking to give up on you, you still have the drive to move forward. And a lot of people don't get that. Alright. Okay, so let's see here. Christina Pushaw, a spokeswoman for Florida Ron DeSantis questioned the age disparity among the Big Apple contestants. Okay, contestants there. Okay. Why are 28, 29-year-olds competing against children? She wondered in a tweet. I would wonder the same thing. And again, goes unanswered. In the interview, Tress suggested that she doesn't feel that she's fully a woman and that her transition was limited to hormone therapy. Okay. So what you're suggesting is you can't go through with having a transition because of a hormone therapy. What your meaning is you don't want to cut off your, I'm not trying to, blocked from YouTube or whatever it may be, right? But trying to cut off, a member that you're going to probably use that day. I said it. Because, again, you're still a man. I know I will never be a woman. Then why are you competing in women's sports? That makes no sense. Okay. Because women are miraculous. They have babies and create life and do all that awesome stuff. She told the male, I'll never have that ability, but I feel like I am a woman. She also rejected the notion that testosterone levels should be Okay, something about eligibility for female events. Okay, so you're saying you shouldn't be blocking your testosterone, and you believe you're not really a woman. I'm seriously at a loss. I mean, you guys can pause it here, but I'm pretty sure I made my fair point. Not only that, I mean, you can go right here where the definition of woman, and it says an adult female human being. And a lot of people can't quite get what a woman is. A woman is an adult female human being, right? A lot of people may not understand this or maybe act confused to it, but that's what a woman is. Okay? Now, men are going to be different, like I said, than women for various reasons. But that is the actual definition of a woman. Okay? Now, again, there's something that should never take place at all. Looks like they're also covering the issue of, see here. Okay, it says the issue came to a head in March when University of Pennsylvania swimmer Leah Thomas became the first transgender woman to win the NCAA's Division One swimming championship. Again, you've got these women going in, or not women, but men going in and beating these young ladies here. Excuse me. That really shouldn't be there in the first place. You have no reason to be there. There's absolutely no reason. If you're going to identify as one thing, don't go into a sport at that point. You should be revoking that from yourself. Because either if you're going to identify as something, but you're biologically this, then maybe you should compete with whatever your biological sex is then. Because otherwise, you're just going to dominate the opposite gender, right? Or if you really believe that, hey, you know what? This is what I am, and I'm going to compete with this. Well, guess what? You're not going to compete with this, okay? You're not going to compete with young or ladies or anything like that. You're not going to compete with other women. No, you're going to be separated from your own division if we even offer it to you. That's what it should come down to. A separate division just for you in what you identify as. Because you're not going to compete with actual biological women. You're not going to compete with actual biological men if you don't want to be in that route, right? What you should be competing with then, if you don't want to be with the biological man, but you want to be with the biological women, when you are identifying as a woman, but yet you're actually a man, then you should have your own division because it's not really a sport that you're playing at that point. You're dominating the sport. So I know I probably talked this or went a little too long, but again, I apologize for the time in which I'd used up. But I still stand behind what I said. A man has no right to a biological man. I mean, you are born a man, okay, has no right to be in any women's sport. Okay? Lady sport, no kids lady sports, young lady sport, nothing. The only ones you should be, like I said before, is going into either the section which you're born with, and if you don't want that, going into a division on your own if the sport offers it. And if you don't like that, then oh well. That's the way it is. If you don't like it, then you got a problem. And the problem ain't with the company. The problem is yourself. All right. Thank you guys for joining Broad Talks today. If you like what we talked about today, drop the like or hit the like button, and yeah, we'll be uploading probably. We're gonna start doing uploads maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And I know it's really tough doing like once every day and trying to really do all this stuff, but trying to find stories, trying to find things in which we're going to talk about. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do maybe 2 to 3 videos a week. So definitely feel free to subscribe to us if you don't want to miss any of the upcoming videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.